This is not our typical adventure video. Instead, it's an overview of adding in a new hobby to our adventures.
So we discovered a few years back what everybody probably already should know, that it's too easy to become complacent in life and just go to work and go to bed and go to work, go to bed, and pretty soon you've lost a decade and then 20 years and your kids are grown, and here you are sitting at home watching TV going, well, I wish I would have done something fun with my life. This is something that anyone can do. You know, go out camping, go take up a new hobby, go do something fun with your life. Don't just sit back and watch it go by. And so we're always looking for something new to do. And about a year ago, we were sitting around camping with some friends and start discussing, well, maybe scuba diving would be fun. And how could we play that into our lives? Here we are on a Camp Scuba weekend, camping outside of Sun River near Cultus Lake, and 2 days of scuba diving in Cultus Lake, getting certified so that we can do more.
Last year, Cory and actually Jason, Primal Outdoors, van camping, were talking about scuba diving. They just kind of mentioned it, and at that point I had zero interest in it. Nope, have fun. Then time went on, talked to some friends who really love to scuba dive in tropical areas. I thought maybe I am interested. So in April, when we were at the cowboy dinner tree with Jason, I brought it up and it was like, yeah, let's do this. Within a month, I had contacted Central Oregon Diving in Bend. It is, what is it, September 25th. This is our second weekend scuba diving. Last weekend,
We spent an amazing weekend over in the Metolius area. We met our friends John and Nancy, and then of course Jason. We had some great food in Camp Sherman and had a wonderful guided tour of the area.
Way back around, and then eventually, so there's Canyon Creek that we just crossed. But it'll take you all the way back around, and then you will loop over the Metolius, and then you'll come back up, and you'll back in there. And I didn't have cell phone signal at the time. Slower time-wise.
Cory and I haven't spent much time in this area, so we really enjoyed this.
Saturday, we had our pool sessions. The pool sessions were in Prineville. That is where we practice all of our skills, but in a very safe environment. And I don't know, how'd you feel after that?
I felt pretty good after the pool. The pool was very comfortable. It was warm water. Yeah, we went, swam down. I think it was 8 or 10 feet deep, and you swim down to the bottom of it, and you learn to take your mask off underwater, and you take your regulator out, throw it over your shoulder, and learn how to recover your regulator. Basically deal with the majority of the emergencies that you might encounter while scuba diving, and start to train your brain how to react appropriately rather than just panicking and heading for the surface.
One of the things that really creeped me out, but I can see why it's important to do, is they actually underwater turn your oxygen off and force you to basically start the process of having no oxygen so you can feel what it's like. That way, if you start to feel that, you're like, oh crap, and you know you have a few seconds, probably like 4 breaths maybe, before you're completely out. That part was kind of scary, but you know, they were right there ready to turn it on, but you can, it's like this, every breath it got harder and harder, and you're like, there's no air, there's no oxygen. That wasn't as bad as I thought, but I was scared. You probably weren't scared about that.
No, that one didn't bother me.
Of course, not a lot bothers him. So pool session, done. Afterwards, I wasn't sure if it was for me. I thought I could. I thought it was something I'd enjoy, but I still wasn't quite sure. I wasn't convinced.
With the first weekend of our scuba training over, we left our campsite and went home. So we are on week 2 of our scuba diving training, and this weekend we are doing our lake sessions at Cultus Lake.
We had lake day number 1. How cold was it? It was, when we were driving there, it was pretty cold, I feel.
Yeah, it was 37 when we left the campsite, and they said it was 52 when we got in the water. I don't know that it was that warm. I think it was a little bit colder than that, but we had 7mm wetsuits and the water was 52 degrees or 47 degrees.
I can't remember. I thought it was like a little warmer that he said, like 53.
Maybe that was it. But either way, it was
cold.
It was cold.
How you feeling?
I'm good. I can't wait.
Good.
Definitely way more excited than you.
What makes you say that? Because of my pessimistic attitude and frustration just getting
Grumpy.
dressed.
And so you get all your gear on, which is surprisingly heavier than, we would have imagined. That
Yeah.
you have to pack in 20 pounds of lead weights into your pockets just to give you enough negative buoyancy that you sink.
So I think I had to have 26 pounds of weight added to my whole setup. That's crazy.
Yep. So yeah, we discovered that the equipment's bigger than we expected, takes up a lot of room.
Yeah.
It's heavier than we expected, but, that's all just kind of trivial things that, we never imagined that this was what it was going to take.
Yes.
But you make sure that your regulator's working and that you can breathe, and then underwater for the first time
Yeah. In a lake.
in a lake. And so we slowly swim down, and they had a buoy set up, 100 feet off of shore, with a line that went down to an anchor and then another line that went to another anchor. So there was a line along the bottom for basically underwater classroom time.
That was our classroom.
And so that was right at 20 feet. So we swam down to that, and everyone just kind of sat there and held on to the line. And we go through the same skills that we went through in the pool. We all had different experiences.
I almost gave up within 15 minutes. Between the first and second day, I was contemplating my life choices. How was day one?
Lackluster. As much fun as we had swimming around the pool and everything else, for all we did today was we swam to the bottom of the lake and held onto a rope and just sat there and did nothing and froze.
Okay.
So I'm hoping tomorrow will be more fun. We get to swim around, go explore, go see the elusive gnome garden.
Yes.
I did see a crawdad, that was cool.
Okay, let's get Julie's opinion. Because when I am in warm water, I'm gonna rewatch this. And it sucked. Jason, what do you say? How was it?
I had a great time. I was a little apprehensive before the first time, but then when we got down there and they took us on a little tour on my group, I got to catch a bunch of crawfish, and so I got super excited about that, and then great. Yeah, super happy.
Awesome.
And finally, yep, I've been floating here the whole time, it's all good. And then as soon as I say it, swim back down.
After our lake day number 1, we enjoyed some very relaxing time at camp, and we definitely needed it.
Come on. Yay! We went back the second day, and the first dive was okay. It went fine. It was a little hard for me to take off my mask completely down there. I think it was because the cold water, trying to rush into my nose, it was just so different from the pool. And then the fourth dive of the weekend, yesterday, it was kind of our fun dive. And it was actually kind of fun. We got to go around the bottom, and there's a gnome village.
Yeah, people have collected gnomes and put them at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of organized out there on a log, and there's crawdads that are swimming around the gnome village. That was fun.
The crawdads were kind of fun. I'm not interested in really cold water diving. I'm looking forward to the Hawaii, the Mexico, the Caribbean. But Jason and Cory are planning on doing a little cold water diving and potentially, getting some food that way. So we made it. We are scuba certified, all 3 of us.
Some things I actually like.
We went out to celebrate and had dinner, then coffee, and then just had a relaxing evening at camp. It was raining, but we still had a fabulous time.
And now we want to try and incorporate scuba and camping together. I don't know if I'll be doing much of the scuba
In the cold water
in the
lakes.
cold water, but yeah, experience was good. Next adventure that we're going to incorporate scuba will be in November. I'm not going to scuba, but I think Jason and Cory are, and it'll be our first official scuba camping adventure. So we're looking forward to that. But for right now, we're just going to enjoy a few more hours at this campsite before we head home to Coos Bay and get back to our busy work life.
Keep on adventuring.
Yay!